The narcissist loves to be in control. I've said it before, you want to destroy a narcissist, take away their control over you. They cannot handle it. Welcome back to Psychopath Exposure. My name is Kira, and just moments ago I started recording a video for you guys and the power went out because there's a storm outside. I found that rather unfortunate. So I was going to record a video with a flashlight and candles, but I changed my mind, decided to take off when the power comes back on. So I was like, okay, so let me just go ahead and record a video and then walk into the storm, because life goes on. And I saw this comment that came in literally 30 minutes ago. Correction, it says 23 minutes ago, but I took a screenshot maybe 7 minutes ago. So I'm confusing everybody, so why don't we just jump right to it. And this one's a doozy. I might get into character to read this one. So it comes from Cheryl D. Cheryl goes, "You are spot on.
The narcissist's constant criticism, neglect, coercive control, financial withholding, weird and suspicious phone habits, etc. are meant to break down your confidence and self-worth. They want you to feel totally reliant upon them. That's how they have the most control over you. And once they see you begin to withdraw into yourself, they will then begin to point out how boring you have become, how depressed you seem, how unattractive you have let yourself become, to have an excuse for their endless affairs and meaningless sexual hookups, which they require in order to keep their fake persona alive. Only in their minds, they sabotage everyone and anyone to stay alive, like vampires. It's so twisted."
Yeah, you don't say, Cheryl. It's interesting because it's my theory that this is done, I don't want to say unintentionally, but I believe it's done unconsciously by the narcissist. You see, the psychopath will do that by design. They know exactly what they're doing. But a narcissist, a borderline, and again, remember there are levels to this madness, but usually a narcissist and a borderline, they're doing this to cope with their own insecurities. They're doing this to cope with their own traumas. Now, I'm not saying that you gotta feel bad for them. Oh, maybe they suffered some trauma, maybe they were abused as children. I don't give a fuck, because you see, if that's what you went through, if those were the cards that you were dealt with, it's your responsibility to become a better person and be better than the way you were treated. You're not gonna go and abuse other people because you were abused. Where's the growth in that? You're gonna live in hell on earth, pretty much, if that's what you do. And that's what these toxic, narcissistic, psychopathic people, that's what they bring upon themselves. Rather than trying to heal from their traumatic past, they seek revenge. They seek vengeance upon the world and upon anybody that gets close to them. And a lot of times it's done, again, I hate to say unintentionally because I don't want to sound like I'm defending them, but it's an unconscious mechanism, a pattern of behavior that comes, sadly, with the disorder. So they're able to control you. And this is perfect, what Cheryl said. These things that they do, their weird phone habits, how they try to take control of your finances. They try to take control of your schedule, of your lifestyle, what friends you hang around with, what family members you're allowed to speak with or visit, which ones you need to cut off at their discretion, of course. They control the time that you have to be home. They control the frequency of the calls and the texts that they expect you to send them, to check in, to report where you're at all times. And see, they don't do these things themselves, and they don't hold themselves accountable, nor do they put themselves in a position to be vulnerable where you will have the upper hand on them. They make sure that they're in total control. The narcissist loves to be in control. I've said it before, you want to destroy a narcissist, take away their control over you. And they cannot handle it. That's when they flip. Usually, that's when they discard you. That's when they tell you, hey, I gotta go. Now, they don't just tell you, they ghost you, or they purposely orchestrate a scenario that's gonna be extremely cruel and terrorizing, and will leave you just as traumatized, if not worse, than they already are. It's when you take control away from the narcissist. Okay? That's how you defeat them. That's the only way that you can defeat them, and it's not going to be the same defeat. It's not going to be a perfect karmic, like they cheated on you, so now you take them back and you cheat back on them. It's not going to be that way. It's not like a mirror. Okay? Defeating a narcissist is just taking away control and getting away. It means you got away. You got away from the predator. They don't like that. Now, as far as seeking revenge yourself, that's stupid. Don't waste your energy on that, because that sends a message to the narcissist that they still have control over your emotions. It means you're still angry with them and you're seeking vengeance, and they love that. Once again, the attention is on them. But if you take away control and you flee and you never look back and you never respond to them again and you block them and you do not give them any type of attention, you've won. And that's the only way you're going to win. You can't play their games. If you play their games, you will always lose. I know some people in these communities, they're proud to say that they're going to destroy the narcissist and they're going to get them back and they're going to do this and the other. And some even boast that they got their vengeance on them. I don't know your story. But I am curious how that worked out for you, because I can imagine it put you through a lot of anxiety. It put you through a lot of negative emotions, carrying all that resentment, carrying all that weight on your shoulders to get back at somebody that's only going to reframe what you did. They're going to reframe the experience by design, because they're disordered creatures and delusional. They will reframe whatever vengeance you think you got on them. They're going to laugh and mock you, and they're going to tell you, look at you, wasted all this time, wasted all these years just to get me back, and I don't even care about you. Look at you, you loser. They'll reframe it, and they'll keep doing what they're doing with their new source of supply, with their new shiny object. They'll both laugh at you, because the narcissist is already in control of their new supply. They're in their head. So they twist the facts. They create a smear campaign on you to everyone that they speak with. And here you go. Here you come, I should say, with your sweet revenge, and you look like a fool. You got to let these things go. I know it's easier said than done, but if you want to survive and you want to heal and move on with your life and do something better, you got to let that shit go. You have to become a better version of yourself than you were before. That is your responsibility. Again, if these people, if these toxic mutants suffered abuse and trauma, okay, it's their responsibility to grow and become a better person and not repeat the same mistakes of their parents or their abusers. But they choose to continue the line of destruction. They continue the wrath. They continue carrying on that dark, hateful, spiteful frequency with them wherever they go. Now you may say, well, we were blessed. We weren't abused as children, yada, yada. We didn't have their experience growing up. Great. We're all dealt different cards, but guess what? Now we were abused by a psychopath, by a narcissist, by a sociopath, by a borderline, a crazy, histrionic, cluster B, personality disordered fuck. Now we've experienced trauma that's no different than trauma from, I always say, people that go to war, like Vietnam, Afghanistan. They come back. I know some people in the Marines. Their heads messed up. Women that have been raped, they'll tell you the same thing. They have a PTSD that stays with them for the rest of their day. And this trauma that you experience through narcissistic abuse stays with you. It changes you. And if you're not careful, you will become one of them because you've been bitten by a vampire. So now you have part of their blood, part of their virus, their poison inside you. And if you're not careful, it will take over your personality. This trauma is so powerful that it changes people, but it's your responsibility to be better and not carry that resentment. Otherwise, you're going to live hell on earth from the moment you wake up to the moment you try to go to sleep at night. And then you wake up and you repeat the same vicious cycle. Day in, day out, ruminating, angry, depressed, hopeless. I put a T at the end of hopeless. Some people become nihilistic. There's no reason to live. I don't care about anything else anymore. I have no desire to do anything. If you do that, then the narcissist has already won. The choice is yours. Yeah, you have a choice. And so do they. But I think their disorder has already taken over their consciousness. Unless you see some changed behavior, I do not believe that these monsters have a cure. But you guys do. So I wanted to put that message out today. See if I can plant a seed somewhere in your head that you're responsible, that you can do this. You have a choice. Your life is not over. It's not too late. No matter how young, how old you are, it's not too late to wake up tomorrow and be grateful for another day on this planet where you have the choice and the freedom to pursue whatever it is that you want, to live the life that you want to live. It's up to you and the things that you do to make it happen. Don't let this traumatic experience with this piece of shit, users, liars, cheaters, abusers, scammers, don't let that dictate the trajectory of your future. Instead, use that as fuel to grow. Find the silver lining and notice that that situation happened for you so that you can overcome that hurdle, overcome that challenge that a lot of people never get to experience. And I know we say, hey, we don't wish this upon our biggest enemy. I don't think I've ever said that, have I? You guys can go back through my videos and prove me wrong, but I do wish that upon my worst enemy. But yeah, you know, if you wish that, then it comes back, so no, I didn't mean it. Thanks so much, Cheryl, for pointing out exactly how these predators act. Because once they have control over you, once you are dependent on them, once you are trauma bonded to them, now they can get away with murder. That's where they can start pointing out all of your insecurities. They start pointing out all of your flaws. They lose attraction for you. They lose interest in spending time with you. They criticize the very same things they used to love and adore about you. Now they can't stand it. Parts of your personality that would turn them on and make them want to be around you all day long now pushes them away, or so they say. And it drives you nuts because it makes no sense. And you don't realize how not just addicted to the ups and downs you have become, but how dependent you have become on this person that came and just wiped the floor away with everything that you had going for you, took over everything, even moved into your home sometimes. They just move in, they move right in, and they take over, and they start using your car, they tap into your bank account, you start giving them money. It's genius on their part. Little fucking scammers. But if you're not careful, you'll be in that hole for the rest of your life. So if you're in this situation right now, as many people have said here in the comments and I've said before, and I'm losing my voice, but I'll say it anyway, you have to run. You have to get out of this situation. If you stay in that same situation, nothing's going to change. The only thing that's going to happen, you're just going to sink into lower frequencies by the minute. But if you want to kickstart the rest of your life, you have to take the first step and you have to end that relationship. And if that relationship's already over, if you've already been discarded, when are you going to draw the line in the sand and say, hey, you know what? I'm done with this rumination shit. I'm done. I'm in control of my thoughts. And I'm going to start noticing every single time my mind drifts into that dark rabbit hole of replaying the tape in my head and having a conversation in my head with words that just sometimes take hours, explaining to yourself what you went through. Like if you need to explain it to yourself, you lived it. You don't have to be going through this shit. And notice when that's happening and stop the thoughts and shift your focus into something else. And when it creeps back in, stop, refocus your thoughts until eventually you create a habit. But I work with that. I work on things like that in my coaching program with you guys, as you know. And we go through that. You go through these type of exercises and meditation practices. And we're building the skill to recognize toxic behaviors within ourselves, patterns, intrusive thoughts, and to be able to get into the habit and become comfortable with observing them, stopping them, letting them go, shifting, reframing, taking control of your own mind because it's yours. Your mind is yours. It means you are the master. You are. All right? So I drop a link in the description in every video if you guys are interested in working with me in my coaching program. Click that link and you'll get a little more information on how the program works. I don't let just anyone in the program, so got to see if we're a good fit for each other first. And if it is, I would love to work with you guys and help you put this nightmare behind you and start focusing on bigger and better things and taking responsibility from this moment on, and not looking too much into the past, but starting to look into the future and creating the future that you want for yourself. Because guess what? The time is going to pass by anyway. Might as well do something now. All right? So I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. If you like the video, then click that little like button. If you want to share the video, click the share button and share it. If you haven't subscribed, well, what are you waiting for? And as usual, let me know your thoughts and comments and questions below. And I always read them. I respond when I can. And even better, I make videos when I have time in response to those questions or as a reaction. And that's it. Time to head out into the storm. Love you guys. Be good. My name is Kira, and this is Psychopath Exposure. See you guys next time. Peace.